Hi everyone, this is on paper. It feels very strange to be seeing that again. It's been a while. Not that I have not been on paper for a while, but I just haven't filmed the video in almost 3 months, I think, at least two. This is the first video at our new place, in our new house, at my new desk, which is very exciting, but also will take a little time just getting used to. Yeah, so like I mentioned a few times in over the past couple of months in videos, we moved 2 weeks ago, and everything has gone smoothly, which I'm very grateful for. But it's always like a big thing. You have to pack stuff. You have to do all kinds of stuff in a new house, like cleaning. But we also did some painting, some little renovating. We had our bathroom renovated, which we didn't do it ourselves, but we still were there every day to check up on how it was progressing. And it's just a bit of a stressful time. Especially since we didn't really take time off to prepare for the move. Like, we just kept on working and did things like on our days off and over the weekends and in the evenings. So when everything was done, we were both like so tired. But we are now slowly getting back into our routines, and one of those things is filming. So I don't know whether or not I will be filming weekly videos again. I do have a couple of ideas for videos, but I also feel like my priorities are shifting a little bit, and I want to be open to that. I think something like a move is always a great moment to just kind of reevaluate what your daily, weekly, monthly routines are, and whether they are still aligned with your goals, stuff like that. So the thing I want to do in this video is just kind of quickly, well, we all know how that goes when I say quickly, but I'm going to try to keep it short. Update you on how I've been using my books over the past couple of months, which has been very varied. Some weeks I really leaned heavily on my books to keep me grounded and organized, and other weeks I just kind of completely abandoned them and just was living off post-it notes and scribbled stuff on loose sheets of paper on my desk. And looking back, that may not have been the smartest choice, but that's just kind of what happens when it just gets too much. And also some new acquisitions that I haven't shared with you yet. So just a little bit of everything to just kind of get back into the groove. Let's start with my journal. So this is my Hobonichi weeks that I decorated with some fluffy cat stickers that are probably not available anymore. I got those 7-8 years ago in Japan. And I have been keeping up with this for the most part, even during the very busy weeks. I just have last week to catch up on, but I've been using this pretty well, and I'm really happy with that. So let's take a look. Well, this page, I mean, this is looking very empty, but it is up to date, unfortunately. This is my running log, and I knew that in the first quarter I was not going to go for a lot of runs, simply for the fact that it was not a priority. The entirety of January was either super wet, very slippery, or too much snow. Then February was just crazy busy, and I guess now in the second half of March, I have some time to get back into running, which is great because the weather is fantastic. Somewhere in the beginning of March, I also got sick for a couple days, which was just great. Just a week before our move, fantastic. Maybe it was just because of the stress. but yeah, spent some time in bed and on the couch, and just had absolutely no energy for runs. So I'm hoping that for the rest of the year, this is going to look much more populated. And we have the monthly pages, and I've been using these to kind of write down stuff that I'm kind of looking forward to, but most of these are like media related. So a new update in like a video game or a music release. It's like there's tons of like albums and singles in here. Like the Stranger Things season 5 release, events in video games that I'm looking forward to. And these are just things that I used to write those either not down, and I would often forget, which is not really a big deal. I mean, at some point, someone will mention a specific show, and you'll be like, oh yeah, there's a new season of that. I should watch it. Or I would write them down in my planner amongst the more important tasks, but I always find that like a little bit too cluttered. When there's too much stuff written there, things that are not important and things that are super important, it gets hard to see at a glance what I really need to know and what is like more optional. So I thought, let's just use these pages to write down the things that are not super important, but that I'm still like, that I want to keep track of. And I've decorated this ahead for the entire year during a very boring online meeting. Whoops. But it was just nice to, do a bit of stickering while I was listening. So that was great. Yeah, so written some things down. Obviously, not too much for the end of the year because there's probably lots of things that I just don't know will be happening here, which I will write down later. And then we get to the weekly pages where I just write down a little bit about the day. And then mostly on the right-hand side, there's some decoration. I could write down stuff there as well, but I find that for the most part, I just don't really have a lot to say about like the week or just to write more about that. So I just thought, why not do some decoration? I've written something down here just about like just a general observation that was not really specific to a day. And I've been really, really enjoying this. This is basically how I was using my 5-year journal. But for some reason, I find it much more fun to have the entire week on the page and to have a little bit of decoration. For some reason, it just clicked and this just works. So I've been keeping up with this for like up until last week, which I just have to fill in. Oh, this was when my partner and I were together for 10 years and we had our 5-year registered partnership anniversary thing. Wow. Made it sound real romantic, didn't I? So just last week to catch up on, and then we are good to go. I haven't done a lot with the pages in the back. I've written down some notes on like specific oracle decks that I've been interested in, the Seasons of the Witch oracles. I've always been interested in like living with the seasons and being more aware of like shifts in nature and in kind of your personal energy. And I've started to write some things down, but it's like really just one page. I just haven't had much time to really like dive into like interests and hobbies, and I'm really looking forward to doing that again because that's the thing that just gives me so much energy, and that I just really need to, balance work and social stuff. And then we have the big book, which is always covered in cat hair. I guess that matches the cover, so not too big of a problem. But this is the Hobonichi Cousin, and I've been using this book, like I said, like some weeks a lot, some weeks just a little bit. what can I say about this? I've been tracking the weather, like the temperature, min-max, and the precipitation, which is something that I enjoy looking back on. Well, not necessarily enjoy, I just sometimes find it very practical to get an overview of especially the precipitation in regards to our garden. And then we have the monthly calendar, and I've been using this one just to write down like to-dos, appointments, when do I have to go into the office, vet visits, dentist visits, bin collection day, all those kinds of things, like the things that are kind of time sensitive. Like, it's okay if, you know, a new album comes out and I forget about that for a week, but it would be kind of unfortunate if I miss my vet appointment for my cat by a week. So these things are like, if I only look at one page for the entire week, it should be this one, because this one has the most important things that I need to know about that week. Some very simple decoration to make it look a little bit more nice, I suppose, without interfering with the functionality of the page. In past years, I've sometimes decorated in between the specific days, but I found that, I don't know, sometimes I can handle it, sometimes I can't. So for now, I just decided to do a little bit on the edges, which is nice. And I've done that here as well. Should probably catch up on this. There's a lot of things that I still need to write down in here that are now on some fleeting pieces of paper. So I really need to catch up on this. Should probably do that after filming. And for the weekly pages, I won't show you a completed one because in the past, because I film my journals and my planners, I've always been really, like, how do I say that? I'm very aware of what I write down and whether or not that is information that I want to share on the internet. I have decided this year to not really take that into account anymore when filming, and therefore I don't want to always share my pages. It's not like there's super sensitive stuff in there, but I will sometimes write down work stuff and stuff like that, and I don't really want to go back and like really meticulously scan every page. Like, can I share this one or can I not share this one? I'd rather just like decide that I don't share it, or maybe just have one example page that I can share. But what I've been using these pages for, these weekly spreads, is basically very messily scheduling the week. So just writing down like, okay, on Monday I need to do this. And sometimes I will write a note, like, I don't know, when I suddenly think about something that I want to cook during the week, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll write that down. Or maybe during this week I need to do this thing, but I don't know when, so I'll just write it down in this left-hand column. Just basically, it's not a really functional to-do list, because I need my to-do list to be either grouped by the type of task in specific like batches, or I want it to be like chronological, so that the task at the top is what I want to do first thing in the morning, and the task at the bottom is the thing I want to do last before I go to bed. If I just write down everything, like kind of brain dump everything that I have to do, I find it very hard to prioritize and to decide what I want to do next. So I kind of always write my to-do list twice. First, I just kind of dump everything onto the page, and then I kind of organize it. And I will sometimes do the first step digitally, like just type down everything, because that's faster for me and I can easily like switch things up. But then I will usually write my like final to-do list for the day down and then commit to doing those things. But this has been working really great. And I had not done that in the past because I found it not aesthetic enough. But since I have just decided at the beginning of the year that these weekly pages do not have to be aesthetic and they do not have to look nice, and it's okay if some weeks are very full and others are not, if some days have a very long list and then a completely empty column because I just went to work and that was it for the day. Since I have decided that all of that is okay, that I want to be okay with that, this has been working great. And like my nicer pages can be in the back. Like those are the daily pages. So let's see if I have an example of like a nice and full daily page. There are definitely empty pages in here. I have also decided at the beginning of the year that for the first quarter, because we're going to move, we have now moved. It was going to be busy and I was going to be scatterbrained and that was going to be okay. And I can be consistent and like get back into the daily routines in quarter 2. I thought I had like a really nice page to share, but now I can't find it. How hard can this be? Okay, something like this. I have, like, this is basically how I've been using the page. Some decoration, and then like a to-do list, sometimes short, sometimes very long, sometimes it takes up the entire column when I break things down into very small steps. And then I've just been writing down thoughts. Just thoughts. Usually not things. It's not like, how do I put it? It's not like really journaling in the sense like, this is what I did today, or these are like my deep thoughts that I want to look back on in 5 years and reflect on my state of mind. This is just like getting something out of my head so that it doesn't like keep bugging me, or so that I can easily like write something down to like make a choice, make a decision. It's basically writing something down to help me focus. And that has been really nice. So I probably will keep this book at the end of the year because I like to do it and I have the space for it. But if I had to decide whether I throw away this one at the end of the year or this one, then the weeks is the one that I will keep because it has like the memories for the year. And this one is purely functional. And it's giving me a lot of joy because it's a joy to write in and I like the layout of the pages, but I have to remind myself that this one is functionality first. That's basically it, I think, for my books. Just gonna take a sip of my coffee before it gets cold. And then let me just are we even in focus? I have absolutely no clue. It's a little hard to, like, I am sitting, like, I'm pointing right now towards quite a big window, and I film on my phone. So my phone is like, oh, hi Momo, do you want to be in this new video? Yeah, okay, cool. What was I saying? Yeah, so my phone is like screen up, and filming top down, obviously. But because of the window, like the screen is reflecting so hard that it's really hard to look at the screen. So I don't know what to do about that, but I hope that everything is still visible. Definitely comment on that if there's like if the lighting isn't good or anything like that. I just wanted to show you 6 pens that I got over the past months. So the first one is this Esterbrook Esty in Botanical Gardens. I had ordered this on the 1st of November on Fountain Pen Day, but it was on back order at the store that I ordered this from, and it took forever to arrive. And somewhere in the second half of January, it finally came in, and I am so happy with it. It writes like a dream. It has a beautiful balance of the different colors, and I am so glad that I got it. I wanted to buy this pen at the Dutch Pen Show last year, but they didn't have the silver trim and an extra fine nib. And I was a little bit anxious about ordering it online because there's so many options you can get from like different color balance in the resins. So you never really know what it's going to look like, but it's beautiful and I'm so happy with it. I'm so glad that it finally came in. In a similar vein, my parents ordered this Twisby, it's called the Serpentine Bronze for my birthday. And then instead of gifting me the pen, they gifted me a card that says, "Your pen is on back order." They ordered it at the same store where I ordered my Esterbrook. And so this one also came in. And when my parents visited in January, they gave it to me. And I am also so happy with the color combination that I got. And there's a little bit of white here and some orange here. And it's lovely and moody and it's fantastic. And I paired it with Diamine Salamander, which is an amazing ink for this pen. And it's so cool. Then somewhere in either January or February, I've been monitoring these Narwhal Horizon pens for a while. I really wanted to add these two to my collection, and they were like out of stock on the Narwhal website, which is the only place where you can get them with an extra fine nib. And I was waiting, and I've been checking there for like half a year. And at some point I decided to just email their customer service and ask them like, "Hey, do you know when these are coming back?" And they replied to me and they said they are not coming back. Once these are sold out everywhere across the globe, they're just gone. And at that point I was like, okay, maybe I should just get them with a fine nib and swap the nib out. So I got these two in the winter sale at Cult Pens for a really, really great price. And I have put nibs in there from let me check. Asvine. So the Asvine nibs, one specific Asvine model nib, I forgot which one it is. If you want to know, let me know because I'll look it up. But one of those nibs that you can, for example, get on AliExpress fits in here. And there's like a little ridge that kind of doesn't go all the way in. But it's fine. It doesn't like influence the writing experience. And I find these nibs fantastic. I don't really care for the Narwhal nibs. They, in my opinion, they do not have the greatest nibs. So for me, it's perfectly fine to have these Asvine nibs in here, and it's just like these gorgeous resins and these beautiful details that these pens have. And I'm really, really happy that I got them before they were no longer available. And then I have also got these two pens recently, which I have not inked up yet. I haven't tried them. This is the Asvine P50. Oh, luckily it says that on the band. In the cherry blossom color, which has like blue and pink, and it just screams spring. And it's a pen that I never thought I would like. I have never really been someone for pinks, but over the past couple like years, I've really grown to love like a bigger variety of colors. Not everything needs to be green anymore. And I really, really, really love this pen. It's so nice. I haven't inked it up. I have no idea how it's going to write, so I'm excited to try that. I will definitely ink it up soon. And then I also got this pen, which was kind of an impulse buy. It's a very affordable pen. I do not know the brand. From what I can find online, this pen is produced by like a company that makes pen parts for other brands, and they don't really have their own pens except for this model in like 5 or so colors. This is the coffee colorway, coffee brown. It has a Jinhao nib. It has a spring-loaded cap with like an inner cap, a bit like the Esterbrook. I don't know, it feels rather nice actually, and I'm curious to try it. There's some brown in the resin, some black, some tan, and also some kind of pinkish brown that I wasn't really expecting, but that looks pretty nice. So I'm excited to try this. No idea what it's going to be like. I hadn't seen it before. It just kind of popped up in my AliExpress feed when I was looking for something else, and I was like, "Ooh, that pen looks really nice," but I don't know. I've never heard of it. But it was very affordable, and I was feeling experimental, and I was just like, "Okay, I'm just gonna get it and see whether I like it." So those are the recent pen acquisitions. Really happy to say that I have managed to, for the pens that I bought myself from these, like, are these ones. Like, I also bought the Esterbrook myself, but that was like last year, and this one was a gift. But for the other 4 pens, I paid for them using only money that I got from selling stuff secondhand. Not pen stuff mostly. Well, a couple of like more beginner pens, but mostly other stuff that I saw. I saw like a band poster and like a couple of like signed CD copies that I had lying around and that were just like gathering dust. And just stuff that I've had for ages, and that in the like in the period before our move, I was just, cleaning out our attic, and I was just, I don't know, suddenly felt ready to get to say goodbye to those things, and I put them on like the Dutch marketplace website and sold them, and with that managed to create some funds for pens, which is nice. Feels good. Yeah. Okay. I've probably not managed to keep this to a very short video, but I do feel like I have kind of updated you on what's been happening for the past couple of months. I really hope you've been doing well yourselves. Yeah, and I'm also kind of curious and anxious to see how many people are still around. I know that it's probably not good for the algorithm that I haven't posted a video in a while, but yeah, no time like the present. So we're just gonna upload this and see what happens. And if you're still here, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.